We are starving, we are golden, we are broken, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden.
First step in working with a drip system is to set up a nice container full of hot water. And this is a thermal container, so it'll keep the water hot, not burn my fingers too much. And I'll show you how you can use this to make installing a drip system much easier. I've measured the distance of the drip system that I have to put in some of my upside down containers. So this is the difference in length between the two end ones. So I need to have an end of line dripper, and this one here, the red indicates that it's a 5 gallon per minute water, pardon me, a half gallon per minute one. Now the trick here is if you try to put these things on, it's very hard. But if you take the hot water that we just poured into the thermos here, and you just stick it in there for a little bit, it makes it much, much easier to then stick them on. They just go right on. Now you can also kind of go against the curve here of the drip hose that comes in this coil, or leave it out in the sun so that it gets warm so that you can get it straight. In this case, I want to have a inline dripper on this one because it's going to be between the end and where it comes from. So I'll stick this one in here. And you can see again it goes on relatively easy. So then I'm going to warm up this one that goes to the T, and again it fits in extremely easy, and then of course as it cools off it gets much harder and it gets a much better connection. And then I'm going to need a T here because this is where I'm going to have the water come up on the drip line coming up from below. So I want to have this one go into the T, and then I will have the hose that comes up from below. I will measure that later on, and then this one I have to still measure how far out the line goes to have an end dripper go to that particular upside down container. So that's most of what you need to know about connecting drip systems. Then of course you need to figure out how long your timer's on so you know how much they drip. In this case I'm using the upside down containers that have gallon reservoirs. So I'm going to have to figure out how long to have the drips going into it so it doesn't overflow, so that the reservoirs stay full even when I'm on vacation. I'm getting ready to climb up the ladder and install the drippers into my hanging containers here, and I'm going to use these little wire twist thingies that you get on various vegetables and stuff like that to hold the drippers in place so they don't fall out. I'm going to be taking the ladder down soon, so I want to be able to maintain these hanging drippers without having to set up a ladder too often. This is a dripper that actually is a little sprinkler that you can set how far out you want it to go into a diameter. In this case I'm trying to get the entire pot because I've got both strawberries, garlic, and beans going in this pot. Here we have an end of the line dripper, and you can see that this is a full gallon per minute dripper, so it's cranking out lots and lots of water there. Here we have I elevated this half-inch line so I could put a couple of sprinklers on it to sprinkle this garden that has a variety of things growing in it. And then down here I had also sprinklers that aren't so much elevated because the plants aren't so high nearby. But you can see they're doing a very good job of getting the entire plot wet, my little raised garden plot. Here I have a strawberry pot, and one of the tricks of having a successful strawberry pot, which in this case has a bunch of different kinds of herbs in it, is you want to put a piece of pipe going down the middle of the pot, and then as you can see I have a dripper stuck right in the middle So the pipe has holes in it, so this way you ensure that you're getting a uniform amount of moisture going throughout the pot. This is one of those tomato feeding watering devices. It has these kind of like nodules that stick down in each of the four sides. They go down about 2 inches. You can fill them up with slow release fertilizer, and then in this case you can see I have a bit of the drip system cut into a circle so that it's dripping in several places and will give a uniform spread of water throughout the various little nodules that go down to feed the plant. This is an example of a flag emitter, and it also emits, in this case it's emitting 1 gallon per minute, and they just flow directly out of the 1/2-inch tube onto the ground. And in this case I have them underneath a blueberry bush next to where I'm having my Three Sisters garden start up. You can see I've already got the corn and the beans started. A few weeds in there too I have to pull out. This is an inline dripper. You can see how it goes right between 2 segments of the tubes, and it just squirts out. In this case it's 1 gallon a minute. And this is an end of the line dripper. In this case it's a 1/2 gallon a minute dripper, and you can see that it's dripping into a pot that I haven't planted anything yet, except for a couple of weeds starting up there. This is a nifty little sprayer. You can see that you can actually wrap it around anything and then point it wherever you want it. And in this case it's shooting a nice fine stream of water down onto this my container that has a bunch of garlic in it with some tansy flowers in the middle, and all of them are just getting ready to start to blossom, and they like getting that water that way very much. Poor old Earth flag, like our Mother Earth, has seen better days, has been abused, is kind of tattered and torn, and this probably is the best reason why we need to malama Mother Earth.
And we